something together. Professor Schoenfeld has just engaged in a very persuasive form of reductionism. From people owning guns, he's leaped to a very compelling story about how horrible it would be for all those people to become vigilantes. Gun ownership reduces the probability, especially if people know that you have the gun, reduces the probability that you're ever going to need to use the gun. And there are some interesting studies on this about not only how guns have in fact been used to stop perpetrators, but that states that have carry permits with lots of them, California is a state that has a concealed carry permit, but you have to get it from the sheriff. States that have concealed carry permits tend to have a lot lower level of firearm murders. They have lots of murders, but not with firearms. Imagine the world that Professor Schoenfeld would have us move into. It's a world in which three groups only own firearms. The military, which can be used domestically as well as abroad. The police, the ever-growing power of the state. And here's the really good news. The other people with guns are all criminals. Because gun control isn't going to stop them for a moment from getting any kind of gun they want. That leaves the rest of us. Now, most cities, I hope you know this, aren't like Irvine. In Irvine, if you are speeding on Culver on your bicycle, 3 police cruisers will pull you over. They will ticket you. They will pull their guns. This is true. Most cities aren't like this. Try calling, and you can look this data up. Try finding out what the average response time to 911 is in a large urban community. Tick, 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 tick. It's not urban. It's not urban. We are so many standard deviations away from what most Americans have to experience when they're actually experiencing crime. If you want to rest assured that the military will come to protect you at that moment of need, or that the police will be at your door in seconds when the criminal is entering your house and the criminal has a gun and you've been prevented from owning a gun because you're a good law-abiding citizen and you don't want to break the law by having Isabel in your bedroom, good luck. That's the world Professor Schoenfeld imagines the country would have. That's not a world that the founders wanted for us to live in. It's not a world which allows us, again, to defend all the other liberties. Press, religion, speech, all the other wonderful things that are not only in the Bill of Rights, but in the body of the Constitution itself.
Professor Petrarca, aren't you just fear-mongering here?
This is the fear monger. We know what the data is. We know what the data is. What's the fear monger? The good, I've given you the good news. The good news is murder rates from firearms are going down. The bad news is Americans are finding other ways to kill each other. And we need to do something about that. But taking away guns from people isn't the way to do it. Because all that does is turn us into criminals. And it creates a new criminal class to serve those who aren't so sure about the safety of the police force and the use of the military on domestic soil.
Just one observation. In trying to prepare for this, and this I think I'm trying to make a neutral observation, not partisan. If you look through endless amounts of things that have been written about the data show, it is impossible to sort out what the data show. For every argument, there is a counter-argument, just as convincing. For every data set, there's a counter-data set. So I think one of the problems in approaching the issue is that we have some idea in some settings about correlation. We have no idea about X creating Y as a situation. And that makes it very difficult to go beyond what our own biases might be. That I thought was a neutral statement.
There's a lot of